thank you both for your service to our country and for the role that you play in keeping our country safe. General Whiting, I'll begin with you, and I'm going to have the same question for General Cotton as well, but how important is it that the use of the electromagnetic spectrum in particular areas of the lower 3 gigahertz band and the 7 to 8 gigahertz band of the spectrum be maintained by the Department of Defense? I've asked this of over 24 separate uniformed officers over the last 2 years, and the answer has been consistent, but I wanted to hear it from both of you again today in terms of the need to have that access for the defense of our country. Would you, General Whiting, explain at least or confirm clearly the need for the Department of Defense to maintain its ability to use that unimpeded in that particular range of the spectrum, please?
Senator, thank you for the question. I totally agree that those two bands are very important to our mission, in fact, vital. The lower 3 or that 3 gigahertz region is an area where we have radars and sensors which allow us to detect, track, and engage targets through all weather, and we have a number of capabilities there like the Spy 1 and Spy 6 radars, which are on Navy ships that can support our mission, the long-range detection radar in Alaska, which is critical for missile defense, the space fence, and the future deep space advanced radar concept. And then in the higher bands that you discussed, the 7 and 8 gigahertz, that's vital for SATCOM and special missions that we execute there, and we could not do our global wideband satellite communication mission without that spectrum, sir.
Thank you, General Whiting. General Cotton, same questions.
Senator, I would echo exactly what my dear friend said in regards to the lower bands. If we lose the ability for early detection, that takes away decision space for decision leaders and decision makers in regards to being able to execute operational plans. So when we talk about what it affects in regards to ISR, it's going to be incredibly important. In the higher bands, part of my UCP is global reach through global strike. The Bomber Force, as an example, has the ability to traverse all over the world. SATCOM communications are going to be vital for those weapon systems today and in the future.
Thank you, General. Also, General Cotton, you've mentioned it a little bit already, but with the B-21, there's a discussion about, we're acquiring 100 of them currently. The number has been debated. Should it be 145? Should it be more than that? And I've appreciated your indication that you've come around to approximately 145. Can we talk a little bit about, this is the next gen. This is the 6th generation aircraft, this platform that's there. Can you talk a little bit in this open discussion, but I think the American public need to understand just what a platform this is and what it is capable of doing, and once again, in this unclassified environment.
Yeah, thank you for that, Senator. When we talk about stealth, there's actually only 2 platforms on the face of the earth that has all stealth capability, and that is the current B-2 Spirit and its next generation replacement, the B-21. There is no other all-aspect stealth aircraft on the face of the planet. The B-2 is the only one, and the B-21 just will dwarf its capabilities with the advanced technologies that it has. It will be the predominant bomber for the United States Air Force moving forward as we move to a 2-bomber fleet, which will only be the B-21 and the B-52 and the modified version of that, the B-52J. So it's incredibly important. It's incredibly lethal with a stand-in and stand-out capability. So that's why I'm a big proponent on constant production that's far exceeds 100 to the 145 number to get us about 220 with those 2 platforms.
I noted that you've had a view that indicated the need to accelerate the B-21 production. Can you explain just a little bit about why we need to accelerate that production?
Sir, as we start to see the legacy systems start to divest that the fleet has with the Air Force fleet, the B-1s and the B-2s in particular, I want to make sure that we don't see a large bathtub and the ability of operational platforms that are available to be used.
We've worn our current weapons platforms out.
We do.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.